Hello everybody, this is Tripathi and you are watching the Review Universe. So welcome back to the another episode of TRU podcast where we have conversation with authors regarding their journey, their book and the stories behind the book itself. So today a very special guest joining with us, Parul Sharma. Parul is a career reset mentor, certified neuroscience coach and a global HR leader with nearly 2 decades of experience of guiding leaders across India and Singapore. Having worked at the intersection of the leadership, culture, and transformation, Parul has now turned her focus towards the next generation, helping tweens and teens navigate the complex world of emotions through her book called Aria's Campus Happiness Playbook for Tweens and Teens. So let's understand the idea and the story behind this book from Parul herself. So, Parul, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Anuj. Thank you for inviting me here. It's my pleasure to be on your podcast.
So, my first question, Parul, you have a remarkable journey as a career reset mentor, and like for the first time who are watching this podcast, meeting you for the first time, just introduce yourself as a author. Like you have turned your focus towards writing.
Yeah. So it started. From a very personal story. My daughter, she's a middle-aged girl, and uh, she's with school grade or whatever we call it, she's 10 to 12 years of age, and I saw her kind of going through a lot of emotions while growing up, and being a neuroscience coach and working with leaders across the world. What hit me was we are raising this new generation to be the future leaders, and with so much of distraction, so much of chaos going in the world, where technology, social media, phones, iPads are taking over their life, and it's not the same. Their thinking process is changing, and being a neuroscience coach, I felt that it plays a long term impact on the memory and how they think creatively and what they do. So, inspired by the daily activities and the struggles that I saw in her and her peer group students, which were like almost the same age group, I felt it's an opportunity for me as a mother to write something while navigating the leadership across the world. So yeah, the book is inspired solely from my personal experience as a mother, but the tips and the guidance which is there as a part of book is based on neuroscience tips and how kids who are growing into this world which is not it which is very artificial and which is very changing in a way. We are in the world which is transforming at a very high speed. These kids are going through a lot of emotions and they don't know how to manage them. So this is just a little bit of you know uh, work that I can contribute to that age group.
Okay, so generally we see authors write guide for the leaders itself, who are in 30s and 35s. So you have chose this teens genre, we can say. So you have chose to tell the story with a character named Arya. So what was the inspiration behind that? Like how you choose that name?
No, that just arrived in my mind, honestly speaking, and there wasn't any big story behind the name. It just, I was sitting somewhere and I was reading an article, and there was this girl named Aria. So yeah, so it's a very very generic name. But I work with usually, as you're right, I work with more like 35 to 50 years of age group. But yeah, I mean, as a mother, I know a lot of kids. So this was not something that I had to put a lot, thinking. It was something that was happening around me. So yeah.
Okay, so the book talks about feeling courage and listening to inner world. So what do you hope the teens who are reading this book will take away from this journey?
So firstly, I would like to say this is not a self-help book. It's a story book, but it inspires kids to get small solutions to the problem that they are facing in general every day, how to manage peer pressure, how when they are growing with kids who are very bold at one point of time, the moment they're going through this puberty and this age change, they kind of struggle with a lot of emotions like public speaking, confidence, and how to manage the peer pressure, whether it is in terms of studies or whether it's in terms of, how you look, how you talk. There are small things that kind of become very very important to this age group. So yeah, I mean, this is what I would say has kind of made me write this the solution. And I think the kids will find it interesting because it's a book, it's a fiction, it's a story about a girl and a boy and a small AI companion. So it is something that every kid can relate into their daily lives. There are stories that happens in school every day. So I'm sure out of those 10, 12 chapters, any kid would relate to at least 5 to 6 of them. And then there are some small tips how to manage those situations. So those are not lectures or theories. Those are things that you can just adapt and how to make them more confident and happy. The whole point is I want the kids to be happy. If they're not happy, nothing else works. So yeah.
Okay, so you have talked about like the AI companion, Zylo. So
Yeah.
how these symbols reflect like do everybody needs a companion to show their emotions or something?
Yes, I always believe you need anybody. I mean, and I'm not talking about Zylo is just one way of presenting a companion, but I believe
Mhm.
after working with so many people and leaders across the world, I think everybody needs a guidance. And if that guidance come in the same, reflection, if it comes in the same way as a friend, people try to understand it faster. I am personally in that space where I believe importance of mentoring. I believe every individual should have a mentor or a guide to support them with what they are going through. And that person should not be their family members because families are emotionally attached to people. We need somebody who gives us a perspective emotionally, physically, and more like, from an outer world perspective. So yeah, it's a very strong feedback and it's a very strong advice that I believe everybody should have a companion in whatever form you can, whether it's a friend, it's a mentor, it's a guide, any relationship can be a part of that. As far as the person can give you the right advice to grow in your life, I think that person plays an important role.
Okay, got it. Okay, so many teens today struggle with feeling like too much or not enough. So how do you think like this book can help them with cope up these practical emotions?
So there are some neuroscience tips which are broken into small parts, very simple daily rituals or daily activities that anybody who's feeling too much about anything that is going on in their life, they can adapt those small tips from the book and they can work through it. I've also developed a free 7-day achiever guide, which is more like it's a workbook that kids can use or parents can help their kids use and it's on my Instagram page. They can use it to set a 7-day target if they are going through any particular situation, and even if not, it's an achiever's guide. We want our kids to achieve whatever they want to achieve, whether that's in studies, sports, music, or as simple as happiness. So any kid can work on that 7-day guide. It's free of cost. It's on my Instagram page. They can download it. They can work on it, and that is a very scientifically created workbook. So I'm sure it's going to play an important role. So book is definitely a story based lesson for each and every kid, but then we have our free resources that any parent or any kid can use. They can download it and start using it.
Okay, so you have worked with adults and the leaders. Okay, so did any impact happens like whatever happens in their teens and it affects in the later on?
Yes, yes. I mean, your anxious anxious kids become anxious leaders. Less confident kids become less confident adults. So it's very important how you are nurtured in your very sensitive age. And I call any kid which is at the age of 9 to 14 is in a very sensitive age because they are changing physically. Their body is changing, their mindset is changing, and how neurologically we are all wired, that is changing. So it, as you, if in these formative years, if you do not gather your emotions, if you do not work on your positioning, it kind of plays a very important role how you're going to be a grown up. Whether you are a professional, whether you are a business person or a doctor or an engineer, we don't want anxious doctors. We don't want anxious leaders, right? I mean, because they set the tone for everyone. So unless empower yourself with those kind of skills, you're just spoiling the way you're going to grow up and manage yourself. So it's very important. This is the prime age where any kid should be nurtured in the right way. They should have all the support that they need.
Okay, like you have said, like there is a specific age like 9 to 14 to nurture these emotions. But if somebody is already past that time period, like myself, if I talk, like I'm in my 22,
Yes.
22nd. Okay, so what we can do to change this behavior, like the
you
anxious
can
way?
you can use the same tips. See, the tips that I have given in the book are common tips that anybody can use it. I use it for leaders also. It's not something that is very specific. What I've done is I've used the same tips, but I have made it more easier for kids that age to understand. As somebody who's a coach, who's a leader, I work with see how our brain works is the same way. So sometimes you need more heavy duty work to kind of help you do bigger tasks, but you use it in a simplified form to teach kids how they can manage the resources. I never wanted to write a book which sounded like a self help book. So it's a very simple story which helps kids understand and relate. When we do the same with leaders or grown-ups like you, we kind of go through the similar pattern, but then the examples are different, the situations are different, the case studies are different for them to understand. Kids at age of 9 to 14, they just started to get into the world. They don't understand how the world works. For them, it has to be very simply laid out. And yes, I think Aria and Zylo together play it very, very nicely for everyone.
Okay, any of the story you want to tell from the book itself?
So there is one chapter where Arya tries to kind of delay the homework, which is I guess everybody at that age tries to do. Nobody wants to do it. I think I don't want to do my office work also. So sometimes you
I
you
often
always
do.
try to.
I often do this now as
Yeah,
well.
everybody does. That's the human nature, right? And the way Zylo interacts with her and kind of tells her that I know you are trying to avoid the main task by doing 10 other things which don't make sense. So you don't want to do your main work, but you're spending time in doing 10 other things. But then that is the beauty that one person who is just seeing you from outside can evaluate how you are kind of conducting yourself. But at the same time, Arya, who's a kid, kind of figures out when she is not busy, she can be really creative, and she can use her mind into some good stuff. So yes, I mean, it's not right to judge kids. That's all I'll say. Everything leads to another. She found her compass by not doing her maths homework. I'm not saying that kids should not do their homework, but sometimes by letting them being who they are and do what they want to do kind of helps them gather their own confidence. So I think that's the chapter kids would like, and they will relate it with all, because I see my daughter, if I tell her to do one thing, she'll do 10 other things but not do the thing that I asked her to do. So yeah, that's how it is. But I guess that's how they learn growing up. So let them be how they want to explore their own feelings, how they want to grow up, how they want to learn, how their surrounding is supporting them. So sometimes parents need to give them that freedom to explore themselves. But yeah, while supporting them in what they want to do is one big thing.
Okay, so like there is a problem kind of thing which I can say. Uh, People are confused like what they actually want to do. and especially the teenagers. So how they should work on it, and like somebody don't want to study, uh, but their parents say like study, complete your studies and all. So how did they should understand like whatever their parents are saying are right or wrong? what
I
what's
guess
your take in it?
at that age, it's very difficult to explain it to kids that what is the right thing to do. But setting the right example by if I am on my phone all the time doing Instagram or Facebook, but I keep asking my kid to study, 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 study. I'm not setting the right example. I'm not saying that because they are doing, I need to start studying. But yes, kids learn from what they see around themselves. So I think one thing is, instead of asking kids to study hard, do this, do that, share some examples, give them some live examples that, look, this is the person who studied hard and this is their future. This is the person who did not study hard. That was that person's choice, and he or she is not doing that great. So you judge what you want to be. You cannot force somebody to do anything, especially teenagers. They are in that phase of mind. I think it's the right environment to set up. Give them that facilitation where they speak, where they have a freedom to talk to parents, but at the same time, let them meet more people outside. Create a networking group, something that is very badly missed in India. What I see in other countries is that we don't push our kids to go out and meet new people. We need to create that environment where they need to start building their network. When they see when a 20-year-old or a 18-year-old see a 24-year-old, that's an easy example to learn from, rather than parents sitting on their head and saying study, study, study. So parents need to cultivate that environment where kids can aspire to be someone, by not comparing them, but giving them resources, to give them library access, give them send them in group meetings where they learn to meet new people, send them in associations, let them present, give them that avenue. They'll learn themselves. You don't have to push anyone to do anything.
Okay, so the comparison part is another problem. Like most of us faced like these kind of problems. Like our parents compare us from the other kids and all. So what we should do at that point of time?
As a parent, I would say it's not easy. Parents never compare to make their kids feel small. No parent would ever compare their kid to belittle them or to make them feel small. They do it out of concern. But yes, as parents, we really need to give kids those space. Instead of comparing, we should just let them explore. As I said, let them meet new people every day. Take them out to some associations. If you are going for let's say, if parents are working and they are going in a event, take your kids around. Let them see what people are doing outside. Put them in volunteering work. Show them, give them that avenue. Why don't we say? I think every kid from the age of 10 years old should be sent for volunteering. That is how they learn. That is how they see the real world. When they see people who are struggling and they support, that's where the empowerment comes, where they feel that I have made a difference, I have done something. So instead of comparing them with Sharma ji ka beta or Verma ji ki daughter, give them that avenue where they can make a difference. Every kid is different. Every kid has a talent. I always believe every person has a talent, and parents need to figure it out, that what talent is, what is their talent, and how they can promote it. There is a kid who is great in sports. Please push that. Use that talent and push that kid. The moment he or she will realize that they are given what they want, they will definitely study, because they'll know that they cannot just get into any college based on sports. So a basic education is important. But unless, till the time we keep stopping them to play what they want or do what they want, and push them on something that they don't want to do, kids will never understand. It's a psychology that all parents need to work on themselves and kids both.
Okay, got it. So coming back to the point of book, like this book Aria's Compass, is this only one book or this is a series kind of a book you are
The
planning to
plan
write?
is to bring out the series, and something that kids of all age can relate, because I feel that the struggle of anxiety or the struggle of confidence doesn't happen only in childhood. As you rightly said, it happens in adulthood, it happens in at leadership level. So the book will continue, and let's see how best it can help as many people as it can.
Okay, so the final question will be like, finally, if you could leave a powerful message from Aria's campus with every reader or listener, what would it be?
Believe in yourself, hear your inner voice. That is the most important thing.
Mhm.
As Arya believed in herself, it took her time, but she heard what her heart was saying. It is very important for every reader to understand what they are going through. Unless they figure that out, nothing can help them.
Okay, so thank you so much, ma'am, for this conversation.
Thank you, Anuj. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, so everybody who is listening to this podcast or watching it on YouTube, you can just go to your description and all the links of Parul ma'am's social media are there, and the book link as well. You can just go and read this one if if this fits to your uh, reading experience. So please read this one. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Anuj. Thank you.